Crossing our borders, for many South Africans, power cuts are the single biggest problem in the country. Outages are blamed on aging infrastructure, corruption and poor management of the national electricity provider. The impact of unreliable power could influence voters in Wednesday's election, as our reporter Dorothy Abo reports.
South Africa's Wednesday election could bring the biggest political shift since it became a democracy in 1994. South Africans will vote on Wednesday to decide whether their country will take its most significant political step since the moment 30 years ago when it brought down apartheid and achieved democracy. The national election will not be as momentous as the one South Africa held in 1994. Few have been. Then, Nelson Mandela led the African National Congress Party to victory as black South Africans, who were the majority, were allowed to vote for the first time. It officially ended a half-century of racial segregation under apartheid.
Our province and our people in Belhar, in Mitchell's Plain, in Delft and in Gugulethu can't afford to lose the 1,200 police officers that have arrested 27,000 criminals in the last year. The people of the Western Cape cannot afford to lose access to the things.
A violently enforced system that attracted the world's outrage and hundreds of years of white minority rule. South Africa's Julius Malema, who quit the ruling African National Congress to form a radical leftist party, could potentially become a kingmaker or even deputy president if the ANC loses its majority in Wednesday's elections, as polls suggest. The prospect of the ANC co-opting Malema and his economic freedom fighters to stay in power strikes fear into investors and the white upper middle class he rails against.
Parents have voted for the ANC. We've come a long way with the ANC. We come from nothing to what we are today. We are able to get free education. We are able to get houses. We've got electricity, something that we never had as the majority of the people. So I'm happy we are here to show the ANC the support, to show them that we are here with them all the way until I don't know when, but we are here for the ANC always, and I hope that we will come out victorious.
The economic freedom fighters promises to nationalize the country's gold and platinum mines and says land from white farmers are among proposals they fear threaten not just their privileges but also Africa's most industrialized economy.
On Wednesday, the 29th, our people will decide whether our country continues moving forward with the ANC towards a better, brighter future or backwards.
This province, all of us, we've come far too far together to just throw it all away and leave it to the corrupt and the EFF, the ANC and the Patriotic Alliance. The people of the Western Cape can't afford to lose the 360,000 jobs created here in the last year alone.
But while the ANC still governs in 2024, it is amid rising discontent caused largely by high levels of unemployment and poverty. That could result in majority of South Africans choosing another party this week over the one that led them to freedom. The ANC has also been criticized for the corruption scandals that have plagued in it and for not tackling the country's violent crime problem. There were an average of 83 homicides a day in the last 3 months of 2023.
Water, jobs, electricity, sanitation, and a better future. But let me tell you, if the corrupt coalition, the doomsday coalition of the EFF and the ANC and their squid wanky in the PA get in here.
Malema's pledge to redress persistent racial and economic disparities resonates with his constituents, which includes tens of thousands of unemployed, disfranchised urban black youths, and middle-class students struggling to afford fees, or graduates unable to find decent jobs in a stagnant economy. The ANC liberated black South Africans from white minority rule, but the widespread prosperity it promised 3 decades ago has yet to materialize.
Yeah, we will lose the most important thing of all. We will lose hope.
Meanwhile, the very richest, both black and white, have seen the share of the wealth expand. The elections will take place on one day, with nearly 28 million people registered to vote across the nation's 9 provinces.
On the ground, and we are confident that the African National Congress is going to come back as the leader of government in South Africa. And for us as workers, there are issues that we've raised, and those issues are part of what we want to see. We must say these things, that we've achieved a lot, we've gained a lot.
They will decide the makeup of the national parliament, but also the provincial legislatures. More than 50 parties are registered to contest the national election, a record number, and independent candidates have been allowed to stand for the first time. For Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, my name is Dorothy Abo.